What's up boys, it's Mitch here, back with another video, and recently I've been experimenting with a few different film stocks. So I decided to spend about $100 on a couple of rolls of Ektachrome 100, grab my EOS 650, which was in need of some emergency repairs, 50mm lens, and got on the train to the city with the only other person I know that shoots film, Jules. After finishing a couple of cheap-ass frames of Kodak Gold, I loaded the Ektachrome into the camera and started shooting like one of the big boys who, unlike me, aren't broke. The plan was to go in at night time and take some shots with the long reciprocity failure of Ektachrome and the way it renders colors, but we ended up going in around lunchtime and just walked around until we saw something interesting to shoot. Now, because it was my first time shooting slide film, I completely forgot about the bad exposure latitude that you get in your frames, which is fine, but if you're shooting in areas with a lot of contrast, don't expect to be able to pull that back later in post, because you'll end up just getting a lot of patterning from your scans. Crazy.
Yeah.
So to test out the color rendition of the film, I put on an ND filter and took a couple of long exposures outside, and as you can see from the scans, Ektachrome really likes to saturate the blues and purples and leave the greens a lot flatter. Now, this is fine if you're shooting, say, in the city like I was, but if you're shooting landscapes or similar on slide film, you're probably better off using Velvia or Provia from Fuji because of that different color science. The other thing to keep in mind is the low film speed. It's only rated at 100 ISO, so if you plan on shooting inside, you're going to want to bring a tripod and a shutter release cable, because you probably won't be shooting much handheld. Now, I tried a shot at 1/25th of a second, and it came out okay, but it was not great. That was very worth going into the alley. The one thing you won't be disappointed with is the sharpness of the film. Kodak claim it has the world's finest grain, and even on a 35mm frame, you can crop in a fair ways and still get a very usable image. The other thing to note is how much saturation you get. Now, I know the view from my phone doesn't really do the whole scene justice. It was definitely more vibrant than what's shown on the video, but the film does a pretty good job of rendering colors true to life, if not a little more vibrant than they were at the time. So should you pick up a few rolls of Ektachrome to try out for yourself? Well, honestly, it really depends what you're shooting. It's insanely expensive to shoot and develop, and it doesn't handle high contrast scenes very well either. With that said, if you're shooting at night with long exposures, or any other scene where you want a high contrast, sharp, saturated image, and you can afford the price of development, then I'd say definitely give it a shot. Now, don't forget to like and subscribe, boys, because I need my YouTube money.